What better way to test the pickup's limits than to take it where the roads end? So today, we're on the Lahar fields of Zambales to do a bit of torture testing. Places like this are a playground for those who are into the off-road lifestyle. Its wide open Lahar fields, its rivers, and its harsh landscapes offer challenges for advanced as well as casual off-roaders. For those who are into this lifestyle, the Foton Thunder comes well equipped. The Foton Thunder Outback is the more off-road centric version of the regular Thunder. It comes with plenty of mechanical and aesthetic upgrades that make it perform better off-road and stand out more on pavement. The Foton Thunder in regular form is already one of the biggest pickups in its class. But the Foton Thunder Outback, thanks to suspension upgrades and bigger tires, is even bigger. For those who are into the off-roading and overlanding lifestyle, the Foton Thunder Outback offers a few useful upgrades. Here at the front, it gets this beefy steel nudge bar which protects the bumper from damage. It gets 18-inch black rhino wheels. They're wrapped in 265 60 series Nito Grappler all-terrain tires, which offer excellent grip on loose sand and mud, and they're also pretty quiet on the highway. The front suspension of the Foton Thunder Outback has been lifted for better clearance and of course for better looks. The Thunder Outback also comes with rear disc brakes, whereas its competitors in the same price bracket still come with drum brakes. And it also gets this beefy steel roll bar over here. It's good that Foton mostly included functional upgrades, but they also included aesthetic modifications to make it stand out more. Like you get this plastic cladding over here, finished in body color, and it also gets Outback badging over here. Now, as for the standard equipment, it gets halogen headlamps, halogen fog lamps. The Thunder Outback isn't just for leisure, it's also a work truck. It has one of the biggest beds in its class, measuring 1,520 millimeters in length, 1,580 millimeters in width, and 450 millimeters in height. It has a spray-on bed liner so you can load your equipment without scratching the paint. Okay, so we're now inside the Foton Thunder Outback. Looking at this interior, you wouldn't think that it belongs to a pickup. It looks like it belongs to a sedan or a crossover. You have plenty of soft touch materials and you have plenty of leather all over the interior. Like you have this kilted leather on the door sidings. You have the same thick kilted leather on the seats. The driver's seat is power adjustable. The passenger seat is manually adjustable. Both seats have a heating function. The steering wheel is leather wrapped. You got paddle shifters and you got plenty of buttons here for your infotainment screen. Now, speaking of the infotainment screen, you get a 10-inch infotainment screen. You also get a 360 camera system here on the Foton Thunder Outback. You get a single zone climate control, and I like how Foton gives us a lot of physical buttons here. Basically, all the functions of the climate control are mapped to physical buttons. You get a physical volume knob, and you also get physical buttons here for your audio. Now this knob over here is for selecting different drive modes. You have 2 high, 4 low, and you have an automatic mode, which automatically selects the ideal setting. You also have hill descent control and a dedicated traction control off button. Now the Outback and the Sport come with an electronic parking brake with auto hold. You also get an electronic shifter. This gets a push start button. You get an analog speedometer, an analog tachometer, and a multifunction display at the center. The Foton Thunder Outback comes equipped with basic ADAS features. It has lane departure warning, blind spot monitoring, and forward collision alert. Now as for storage, the glove box is quite spacious. You have quite a bit of storage underneath the armrest. You also have 2 USB ports over here. You have 2 cup holders. You have a place here where you can put your phone. Now space here at the back is pretty adequate. I have quite a lot of leg room. You get a foldable armrest with 2 cup holders. It's also nicely padded. Getting a Foton Thunder Outback and driving it just in the city is like getting a high-performance gaming computer and only running spreadsheets. It's meant to go off-road, so I think we should take it to its natural habitat. Just 1.5 to 2 hours away from Manila are the Lahar fields of Zambales. It's a sprawling landscape of rivers, sand, mud, rocks, terrain that's hostile to normal cars. So why do people go to these places? Why go off-road? Well, because it's fun. It's fun to challenge yourself as well as your rig. It's fun to do it with your friends. And it's a good way to appreciate the gorgeous landscapes of the Philippines. The tires are some of the most important parts of an off-road vehicle, and the Nito Terra grapplers of the Thunder Outback are excellent in finding traction where there is almost none. The 2-liter diesel engine of the Foton Thunder Outback puts out 160 horsepower and 390 Newton meters of torque. Torque comes early and it's quite responsive to throttle input. The high ground clearance and the bull bar give you the confidence to tackle deep dips and tall hills. The traction control always seems to send power to the relevant wheels. And when you want to do donuts without the traction control interrupting, you can easily turn it off. Now, if you're gonna go off-roading, I would advise that you go as a group, as it's more fun and it's also safer. And we brought some very experienced friends with us to this trip. Alexander Gonzalez has been off-roading for 8 years now. He drives a heavily modified 4x4 and he drives it pretty hard. He also co-owns an off-road accessory shop called Off-Grid 4x4 Adventure, so I would assume that his standards are pretty high for off-road vehicles. Let's ask him what he thinks of the Foton Thunder Outback.
Nakaka-surprise tong car na to. Kasi by the looks akala ko forma lang. Pero when I drove it talaga iba eh. Napatunayan niya na equip siya. Pwede siya for off-roading. May laban siya.
The Foton Thunder Outback, despite its looks and features, is actually one of the most affordable 4x4 automatic pickups that you can buy. It sells for 1,498,000 pesos. a reasonable sum to pay for a truck that you can take from the dealership straight to the proving grounds of Zambales.